Hello, everybody. It's Jennifer Williams, podcast host of LUXE Life and Global Banker, Gold Coast Global Luxury Real Estate Agent. Today, I have the pleasure of having Lakefront Living Realty International, an offshoot of them. This is Ozarks edition. So we have with, and I'll let them introduce themselves. Go right ahead.
Hi, I am Annie.
And I'm Jesse Faulstich.
We are the franchise owners for Lakefront Living Realty. We own the state of Missouri and our partners in the state of Arkansas as well. Lakefront Living Realty International covers, as you may know from previous podcasts as well, hundreds of lakes nationwide, and thousands if you include rivers and ponds, and really the lake life itself. Jesse and I live on and sell Lake of the Ozarks. So we're here to bring you definitely the Ozarks edition today. We're going to talk everything Ozarks, but we do also, like I said, cover other lakes as well in the state of Missouri and the state of Arkansas.
Very nice. So even though we're having the Ozark edition, and of course we're going to dive a little bit into the Netflix series Ozark, so at least to tie this in. But we don't want the customer, any of our listeners, they need to know that that's not the only place that you sell. Ozarks is a pretty good size area. And now you guys primarily live in which community?
We're in Osage Beach.
Okay, very nice, very nice. We've seen a lot of growth.
Big lake. It's a big lake. Yeah, we do have agents that helps out to cover the entire area here.
It's a big active lake with a lot going on. A lot of bars, a lot of restaurants. We were talking earlier before we started recording about the shootout that's coming up. We'll dive into that a little later. Let's just talk a little bit about how the Netflix series, Osage Beach, you went there 10, 15 years ago. It was always a great community, but it started growing. And then Netflix came. And now, you say Ozark and everybody thinks, the Netflix series, Jason Bateman, we have all these characters. Is that really what it's like? So tell us, how has that affected, your community and your market?
Well, so Jesse and I we actually both grew up in Osage Beach. We've moved away and come back to the area. Of course, as everybody does out of high school, you think you live in the worst place in the world, and quickly realized that actually this is probably in our opinion the best place to live and now raise our three children. So growing up from the 80s here, it's a completely different world. But for sure from Netflix, speaking specifically about the Ozark show, it was really cool whenever it came out. It's fun to reference and of course see where you live referenced on the television. It is not filmed, as most people now realize after 5 seasons. It was not, unfortunately, it was not filmed here at Lake of the Ozarks. It was filmed in Georgia, but I think almost all of the drone footage that they use on the intro and outro and the name references, those come from here, from Lake of the Ozarks.
Yes, whenever you see the high altitude drone footage with lots of houses on the lake, that's Lake of the Ozarks. Throughout the show, when you see virtually nothing in the background except for trees, there's not very many parts of Lake of the Ozarks that is. There's quite a bit of money here compared to what they reference to at the lake or on the Ozark show.
It's fun though that the writer had some past history of working at Alhana Resort and in that bar that they referenced. So it's fun that they did take a few pieces from the lake. But I would say we've always worked and sold a second home market. Majority of our clientele, especially that we are lakefront exclusive, even years past, we've been selling for 15 years. Most of the folks were either second home buyers from across the Midwest within driving distance, where they would come for a vacation home, weekend warriors, we would call them, or the retiree. And the retiree would or could come from nationwide, that they always knew that they wanted to live on a lake when they retired because the job industry just wasn't here. Those were our two primary source of buyers.
Sure.
I would definitely say pre-COVID, but after Ozark, we did start getting calls from more nationwide, where people would be looking, they were looking up Lake of the Ozarks, Googling it just because of the show. They like the show. So then they Google Lake of the Ozarks, and what you find is completely not what's in the show.
It's not, yeah.
That would initiate a few phone calls. And we started seeing that spread, our buyers go outside of the Midwest a little bit more. Now, I believe with the combination of our COVID transition for people working at home, combined absolutely 100% with Netflix Ozark series, our buyer pool and a lot of our clientele has spread nationwide. People coming from all over the country, that you no longer have to explain where Lake of the Ozarks is, and that we're in the middle of Missouri. People automatically know, and we hear it constantly. We love to travel as much as possible, and now it's fun anytime
it's just a lot more name recognition.
Yeah, it is.
That's immediately what people refer to.
If anybody asks where we live, I mean, nobody really knows where Osage Beach is. But if you say Lake of the Ozarks, that's what we were always been used to saying.
Sure.
So people go, whoa, wait a minute. Ozarks? Like Ozarks.
Yeah.
I think it's a whole lot more. And really, I don't know if it's just my exposure to Osage Beach and the Ozarks, but it sounds like we're hearing about it more than even Branson. I mean, that's all you would hear about. You would think of Missouri, Branson, Missouri, that's now it's Ozarks where you guys are at.
Yep. Yeah. Previously, everybody assumed Branson. I mean, Branson is still very much booming. They're growing constantly. We cover Table Rock, Taneycomo, and Bull Shoals.
Oh, nice.
In the Branson area. But it is fun because it's two completely different vibes. It's two different lifestyles. It's two different clienteles, but we're able to cover them. Jesse and I don't actually sell on those lakes, but we have 3 agents in that territory that
team of specialists
that live there, sell there. We only sell Lake of the Ozarks because this is all we know. This is all we boat.
Really, that's all kind of the Ozark. There's so much to do, and it's grown so much, but it's always been just more laid back, I guess. And I don't know if it's the lake, because the lake gets super busy, super chaotic at times, especially during the holidays and different events. But it's still, even with all the chaos. I mean, I come from the chaos in Chicago, and it's like just relax, just complete relax with the lake, lake life.
That's one of the biggest reasons. And again, just hitting that Lakefront Living covers, hundreds and thousands of lakes nationwide. Lake of the Ozarks is so special, not only because we live here, but it truly is, with 55,000 acres coverage. You can find whatever it is you're looking for. Yeah. If you want a quiet cove and, just to go fishing and lay on a raft and read a book, you can find it.
It's there.
If you want Vegas style swim up pool bars, DJs all day long, we've got it.
You got it. Yes.
Everything in between, literally everything in between. So it really, you can pick and choose what you want. You don't have to automatically be in the party scene, or, if you're looking for that lively nightlife, you can find it.
It's there, very prevalent, and the food is, take your pick. You can go by boat, leave your home and go from restaurant to cove, to laying out, to relaxing, to back to restaurant, and then back to home. And you never left the water except for to go to eat.
Yeah.
Some of our favorite days that might have turned into dock days, where we just hang out here on the dock. The kids are swimming. We can barbecue. We'll have people come over by boat and stop by for dinner and then take off. And, for us, if we can work from the lake or go to friend's house by lake, we are definitely in a boat going by water.
And that's the best. I'm sorry, my dog is giving me a little bit of, hey, pay attention to me. So let me have somebody take care of. Sounds
like a lake dog.
Yeah. He's a big German Shepherd baby, let me tell you.
Oh.
But anyway, sorry about that. Again, that's why we don't edit very much, because we like to at least keep it real. So excuse me. That's, and doc days and having people, it takes the stress away. It all just, if nobody has ever experienced a day on the lake or a moment on the lake, they really should. They really should take that time, because kids are playing, we only have so much time that our children are little enough where they actually still like us. And then when they grow up and move away and come back, and that's something where, that lifestyle, the lake lifestyle, is something that can grow on generational. So when you purchase a home and you decide to stay, be full-time or even retiree or a short-time resident, you get I think you get more use out of your real estate than probably we do.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's truly what we sell, is the lifestyle. And it is not uncommon for that to be generations deep. Families will also, and as the seasons change with the children and their age and the grandchildren, we see that rotation. Maybe they get a starter lake cabin and then they move up to a bigger home, or they go back to a smaller condo because now, kids are all over the country and going through college, but then everybody comes back and then they buy the retirement home that they stay in forever, or the house stays in the family for generations. We also get buyers a lot that are coming to us and say, my grandparents had a house, or my aunt and uncle had a house at the lake, and we want that now for our kids. Those were our best memories as a child. And I am so fortunate to be able to say the same thing. My best memories, as a child, we was on the dock, on the boat, and it still is to this day. So it's really cool to connect people, especially, like yourself, that's coming in from the city, from out of the area, and just that's their time with family, their time to relax, disconnect, get away from all the hustle and bustle. But they truly, they're buying that property for the experience, 100%.
100%. And I like coming from, close to, a suburb of Chicago, coming to, some people, go to the Ozarks, you go somewhere else. Is it warm and friendly, or how is it? You go to get your coffee in the morning. I can tell you that it is the most friendly place you could ever want to be. People, whether they know you or not, everybody's saying hi, everybody's nice. It's just that it's just so peaceful and enjoyable. And you come back feeling refreshed, even if you go for a weekend. You're about 6 hours from me where I live, and it would be 6 hours well invested. In my book. You drive past so many different locations that you could stop at, but yours, I would keep on going.
Yeah.
We get that a lot from people from out of town. They just say, I just can't believe how nice everybody is there. And us, it's just another Tuesday or another Saturday. That's just the way that the area has been in the past and continues to be. I grew up here in Osage Beach, but we didn't live on the water. We enjoyed the water, but we also did other sports off water. And once we married and moved to a lake house, it's a completely different lifestyle. And it's so magnified, especially when you have kids. And almost every night now, our days, especially summertime, somebody's in the water. We get dinner ready, and then we've got two little kids, 2 and 5. Annie will run and throw them in the shower. Our 13-year-old, he's down on the dock fishing. I try to get away for a little bit and go fish with him for a half hour or something and come back up and help with bedtime. But it's just a completely different lifestyle. And it's really hard to explain that unless it
is
not taking lake baths, which is also a thing, a lake bath, which happens a lot. And the kids enjoy that the summertime is time we allow Zest Pert Plus on the dock, and they take lake baths instead of the shower or the bath. So it's pretty fun.
And it's a clean lake. I mean, it's not, we have a lot of times where you are, people think, oh my gosh, it's this gross lake. I mean, unfortunately, I dove off the back of a boat one time and didn't realize I had my sunglasses on because it was so bright outside.
Yeah.
And I watched my sunglasses like fall to the bottom. I swear it was like at least 10 feet before they were gone,
Yeah.
Well, damn. So, but it wasn't, there's not a lot. Yes, after a storm, we'll have different, any lake, any body of water, but it's not polluted. It doesn't, that gross smell, and you see, I'm not sure what the heck that is floating by. That's not like that there. I mean, it is like, I would be okay with my kids taking a lake bath too.
Yeah, we don't have to deal with weed count and a lot of different other things that lakes do that cause some of that smell. I think we've gotten over different stigmas over, the past couple decades, I would say, late, where a lot of still 80% of our homes are on private septic, and that is normal. Actually, nationwide, lakefront, that's pretty typical to be on a private septic. Well, over the years in properties transitioning, newer guidelines, things have been improved. Properties are up to state standard and state codes. So I think, people say that a lot, that, there's septic running into the lake or sewage. It's not the case. It just really is not. So
And you
it's
have a lot of,
like,
right. I could see that because you have a lot of new construction that has gone on there in the last, even before the Netflix series. There's a lot of new construction that was even on the lake. There's so many beautiful homes. I mean, just fabulous. I don't think, maybe I'm wrong. I don't think a lot of people realize how fitting in the luxury lifestyle Lake of the Ozarks is, especially, Osage Beach as well. There are multi-million-dollar houses that are there.
There are, and I know, you really cover the luxury life, and it's, I think it's fun. We sell, everything, $100,000 condo up to multi-million-dollar homes. And I think that people, no matter what property you're in, if you're on the water, you almost have that like piece of luxury living yourself. Yes. I mean, I hear that all the time. If, there's a sense of that, like once you're on the water and you have that lifestyle, whatever that looks like for you and your family, you feel like you're living a life of luxury.
The LUXE Life. I mean, no matter what you're.
So you really fit in across the board, but
it does. That's why I started.
Right now, I would say the big thing on luxury life, where, the big Airbnb, VRBOs have hit the market and, the news so much. There's a lot of people investing in that property. So now we're finding a popular combination is to have more than one house on a property, or the ability to vacation rent, obviously the property that you own. But there are, we actually have 2 listings right now that have multiple dwellings on them, to where you could rent out the whole thing, or you could rent out the guest house.
Oh, nice.
We live on a property that also has a guest house that we're able to long-term rent. But one property, and I don't know if you want, we'll put links, later on, but
give us links. But tell us about it.
Yeah, we've got Green Valley Road, new construction. I mean, this is very modern. The most beautiful architecture that I've seen for a new construction. Definitely something different than what we traditionally have here at the lake. Very modern, clean lines, open, bright, but it also has a cool lake vibe. I mean, they went high-end finishes throughout the whole thing, but did an amazing job with interior design and decor. So it all lives very comfortably and just screams lakefront. So that property also, what they did was they did keep the old boathouse that was on the property, which you saw especially built a lot in the 70s and early 80s. They converted that boathouse, built a second story on it. Now the boathouse is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, right on the water, cantilever deck. So you could, rent the whole thing as a big corporate retreat, party pad, or you could even just utilize the income from the second home, the guest house. That property we've got listed at 2.3.
Okay.
Also comes with a big custom 3-well concrete dock, beautiful views. It's on the Gravois arm. Or then transition, we've got another property listed at 550,000 that, one owner, never been on the market. Neither one of these properties have been, but this one is for the visionary that wants to come in. It's the lake house, then a guest house, and a detached garage. That one's sitting on just under 3 acres.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's ready to be renovated, updated. I mean, it needs somebody to come in with some vision and really put their own stamp on it. But you've got two, completely separate price points there. Same general idea with the availability to multifamily if you want. If you've got, that happens a lot, two brothers, 2 sisters, or cousins or family wanting to go in again, or that short-term rental income has been
it's been very, very popular, especially since COVID, where people they want to buy a house they can rent out, and whenever they're not here to enjoy it, they rent it out. It makes a house payment for the year, and they've got a vacation house that they can call home whenever they want to. So that's become very popular.
So Airbnb and VRBO and all that is everybody, because there are some communities, like there's some communities by us that this one may and this one may, but this one over here will not.
Right.
We
so
have
that's subdivision, different HOAs, different covenants. So that's where we really come into play about what properties will fit your criteria, your lifestyle that you want to achieve.
Sure, because it's not always about, if I'm coming from out of town and have no idea about the Ozarks, and I pick up the phone and say, okay, I want a home that's it's lakefront, and I want to be able to, call and set up with Airbnb or VRBO, any of the other long-term stay or rental properties. So that's your knowledge. That's the beauty of you live right there. Mm-hmm. That's your knowledge. That's your bread and butter. I mean, that is, you live it, you breathe it. That's why you have that knowledge. That's why you are who you are.
Well, it's absolutely why we encourage, any buyer that you're out there, you want to work with a local agent, but especially a knowledgeable lakefront specialist is really what we call our agents, because that's all that we sell.
That's all you sell, and I like the fact that there's the span. You have the 2.3 million, the 500,000, and we all know that if they're in between that or lesser than that, as long as it's lakefront, it fits in your wheelhouse, if you will.
Yep.
And that's huge, especially when you, like I said, coming out of town, second home, whatever it is, you want to know about the lake. You want to know about, this is my criteria. This is the boat I have, or the boat I'm going to get. Mm-hmm. If you're going to get a pontoon boat, or if you're going to get, a speedboat, what are you getting? You want a jet ski? You want a water ski? What is it? On a cove, off a cove. That's where, having that knowledge right there.
And we make sure, our agents, we do live the lake life, because that's the most important thing, is how satisfied our clients are for when they're here using their property. And we can tell you firsthand that if you don't get out on the water yourself, mm-hmm. There's no way of knowing that. You might hear people talk about it, but unless you've actually experienced it on Tuesday, on Saturday of 4th of July, and in every area of the water. We're constantly going, really from the dam to the 60, on a regular basis. So you really do have to know, your cove looks beautiful today on Wednesday.
Today.
On Saturday, this is actually a popular cove for people to tie up and moor in, and some people love that. Actually, a lot of people go, this is great. It's lively, it's active. Where another buyer would absolutely hate it.
But you would definitely want to know.
You really need to have that knowledge of yourself, being out on the water and living that lifestyle. We can give suggestions of where to get the best hamburger or where to get the best ice cream on the water, things like that. But if you don't have that knowledge, it's very difficult.
You'll never get it. You will never understand if you don't know. And what cove is, suitable because of the depth range in the coves. This is suitable for, we found out one way, unfortunately, I'm a little too quick. And, this one is not meant for that boat. Okay, that's great. This one, these are, but it's experiences. I know that because of an unfortunate experience. You know that because you've lived there, but I'm not selling the real estate there. But I would definitely, I want to get back down. So we'll have to make sure we do a live something. So, I think too, have you had too many people that have called and said, I've seen the TV show, I want this kind of lifestyle, this kind of living. Has that changed much of with your business?
I wouldn't say, no, not really.
I think, like you kind of would think somebody's going to pick up the phone and say, I love this.
So it's funny, they might, in a sense, and actually we can say, we can find you a similar vibe. We could find you a similar criteria to that, whether that's further west, on the western end of the lake.
We can find you 2 trailers on the lake.
Yeah, I mean, if that's right. I mean, there are pockets that are very quiet and still have, and the south. So down on the Niagara arm, also, it's a little bit rockier. The trees are a little bit different there, so you do have more of that Ozark vibe if you're looking for it. So it's not that it's not there. We don't get a whole lot of calls for that. Our brokerage, we have shot 2 actually HGTV Lakefront bargain hunt.
Oh, nice
episodes. Yeah. Here at Lake of the Ozarks. And I would say that is where we do get more of the calls. We get a lot of people seeing those shows.
Or especially our last one that Stacy shot.
Yeah.
Because she shot it back in 2019.
They weren't able to film during COVID.
Yeah.
So they were playing reruns of our episodes quite a bit during COVID.
Sure.
So then, but those were then.
Well, Stacy's aired
4 years and 2 years.
2 years after filming. And so then all of our buyers that saw it said, where's that house at? Where can we buy it at that price? How come you're not showing me those homes?
Yeah, for that price.
Oh, this was shot 2 years ago.
The prices had obviously changed a little bit.
We'll have to make sure we get those links too for those the HGTV shows, and we'll make sure that these were shot prior to. But if you want an idea,
but still not so far off that it's just completely unrealistic.
Well, there's different,
especially when COVID hit, and so many people went from outside of the office to where you can work. I just need you to have internet, and you can work wherever. People were like, why wouldn't I want the lake in my background? And we have fiber optic on the west side of the lake that I had some buyers in from Denver, and they live inside of Denver downtown, and they bought an old lake house. And he goes, what are you guys doing with fiber here? We don't have fiber in Denver. So that's where, especially now, even moving forward, employers have allowed employees to be more of that hybrid mode, where I need you to be able to come into the office, a couple times a month or this or that, but you can work abroad. So that's where a lot of buyers have come from. They want to have that lake in their background and let their family experience the lake lifestyle while they're working through a summertime. It's like
you have a stressful phone call, jump on the boat and get the spray in the face, and everything is all better. Like it just.
Yeah. No, a lot of them are even taking calls from the boat.
Yeah. I would.
We do the same. We've got, one of our agents, their boat's named Conference Call.
Yeah.
Because they.
That's a good one.
Yeah. From the Overland Park, Kansas area. And same, because that way he could work hybridly. Mm-hmm. And absolutely, we're going to throw Jason under the bus, but he takes a lot of calls as Haley's husband from the boat,
And that,
all
you know
day
what, really,
long.
that's okay, because
Yeah.
you're still conducting business. I mean, I can't tell you how many places I've taken, and I'm sure you guys as well. Business is business, but it doesn't mean, it doesn't mean that our business is less important because we're not strapped to a desk.
Yeah.
At times I think you're going to have a clearer thought.
Same.
I know I do.
I think your productivity actually goes up whenever, I mean, everybody's smiling. You could,
Yeah.
sitting back in the quiet water with your feet up.
That's why I told you, I was like, forget
done.
this. I'm going to come down there. We're going to do this live.
Okay, next time for sure.
Absolutely. When we end this, I'm going to find out what your guys' schedule is, because you
We'll
get
get you on a
so
conference
lost.
call.
Yeah, conference call. Okay, where's the guy with the boat conference call, and who else has one too? Because that's the thing, like, you don't, and again, it goes back to, you have to understand the lifestyle, you have to live it. No better agents to do that than the two of you. You've lived there to see from here, growing up, moving away, coming back, and then now how everything is changing. And not just because of the TV series. It was changing before the TV series. Really, people, I don't think they really realize, what new things were coming to Osage Beach. And different hotels that were coming, and we've talked a little bit about subdivisions. There are new construction where for a while you didn't see too much new construction. You saw the lots that were kind of sitting there, and then all of a sudden it started really turning.
Mm-hmm.
And then we weren't putting up small houses. We were putting up. You guys were doing big ones. That's for sure. Anything extra, anything else that somebody should know about the lake, and about the two of you as far as your franchise? You have such a we're doing Ozark edition. Say I'm listening to the podcast and I say, this is great. I really want to go there, because I would recommend to anybody to go. Go give you a call. How do they get a hold of you? And we are going to put all your information in the description, but I wanted people to hear it from you as well. How do they contact you? Phone numbers, emails, websites? Give us the lowdown.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, lakefrontliving.com, start off. I mean, that's the easiest. Just go to lakefrontliving.com and you can click on whichever state you're looking for. In our instance, of course, if you went to Missouri, you would find us. The best thing to do, no matter what lake you're looking for, if you don't even know what lake you're looking for, is to schedule a call. Mm-hmm. Really go online, or you can call myself directly anytime, 573-216-4350. We have 833 Lakefront is also our direct line to the office. It's 833 LKFRONT. I have to look at that because my license plate is the same, but almost very different. Nice. But yeah, lakefrontliving.com. Really schedule a call with one of us or one of our lakefront specialists to have the conversation. It's really about starting that initial conversation for us to determine what it is that you're ideally looking for, how you see your family living your lake life, and that way we can help guide you from there. So scheduling that call, I think, is the most important thing. We have tools. We've got 37-point questionnaires for buying lakefront property. We've got buyer's guides and seller's guides with really pertinent information that is specific only to a lakefront buyer that we can send out, we can email out. We definitely have the tools in place to help both sellers and buyers specifically for lakefront property. But I would say to schedule a call would be the first thing to do.
And if you can't remember lakefrontliving.com, you can remember bythelakehouse.com.
Yeah.
It'll take you to the same spot.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely remember that. I mean, I would remember Lakefront Living anyway, but still, yes, by the lake house. That's a good one.
Bythelakehouse.com.
And my contact info is 573-260-0868. Give me a call or shoot me a text. Email is Jesse, JESSE @lakefrontliving.com.
And that's, because I think it's easy for us to sit here and say, oh, I want to buy, but there's so many nuances to it. There's so many more nuances to purchasing a home, in your community, Lakefront Living, than it is for me to sell in a subdivision, if you will.
And that's where we bring most of our value just with the local knowledge of what local lenders, you know, are good lenders and have the ability to close. Out of town lenders, they don't specifically know the lake and can get hung up in deals will fall through at the 11th hour and everybody's stress is through the roof and doesn't need to be. So I always provide a list of local lenders in the area, get you pre-approved. When we submit offers, if listing agents, if they can see it's a local lender, everybody knows that you're going to get a deal done. Also, property managers, we hand out info for property managers if you're interested in a house that you can rent out, and they can actually run you an estimate for what they think that your house would bring in that year as a rental compared to other rentals in the area. So that's part of our biggest job, is to figure out what it is that you want and also hook you up with good people that can get a job done for you that you're looking for.
It's a total package. It's a complete package, you know, so some, you know, you can come down and 9 times out of 10, I would have to assume you have where you have a lead in on people that can say, I'm doing an Airbnb, you know, but I want somebody to go through and make sure everything is still up to maintenance. I'm not coming down there for another few months, but I want it clean because my next people are coming in. You know, you're local, you're there. Not that that's your job, but I would have to suspect you have that in your SOI, your sphere of influence,
right?
Of people that here's a list of who can take care of the grass, who can take care of the pool. You know, just because we have a lakefront home doesn't always mean we don't have a pool or we don't have a jacuzzi. We have all these other things that go along. You just have a dock too.
Docks is another big one that requires some maintenance. And then on the purchasing part, just knowing what your dock envelope is for what kind of boat do you expect to have and how big of a dock can you get on there. And then that goes hand in hand with Ameren permits, you know, for docks, for seawalls, for riprap, for martini decks, or like the listing that Annie has, that boathouse that's right on the water that you could never get built again. It's grandfathered in. So just knowing that.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of information like that. There's nuances, I think, to every
if you're
area of selling real estate.
If you're selling a farm, you want to deal with a farm specialist.
Right.
Why would you want to deal with somebody that sells condos and then, oh yeah, I can sell a farm too? You're not going to get the same specialized information.
No, you're right.
Yeah, or peace of mind knowing that you're going into a, you know, one of the potentially largest purchases of your life, with hopefully what we're going to bring is a lot more confidence and ease that they're not going to have any issues, you know, especially after the close, God forbid, you know, prior to or after, and no surprises.
Yeah, I think we can get caught up in the emotion and the great, but also you have that knowledge and that foresight ahead of time. Again, because you live it.
Yeah.
And it comes natural to you. So, oh, well, hold on. You think this is great over here, but remember, you might have this challenge or that challenge. And it takes our client's anxiety level and reduces it. Right. You know, whether we're talking the luxury, and there are different nuances with luxury.
Yeah.
As we all know, you know, appliances and refrigerators and generators and you name it. And when we go to compare properties, you know, is this an equal comparison to this one? It looks to me like it is, but you would know, well, this over here in this cove is a little different than this cove because of, as your point, you know, something can be grandfathered in or cannot be. What can you do? I may go and say, oh, this is what I want to do. Well, no, you can't do that over here, but you can over here.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And Jesse and I both have a background in construction. So
me too.
Yeah. So I think that also helps, you know, when it kind of feeling back to helping people. I mean, we are constantly both helping buyers and sellers. Here are the people that can help you, whether that's getting the property, a few things ready to go. Again, most of our clients don't live here full time still. So we are really the feet on the ground for them here before they list it, after they purchase it. You know, we're still always here and like to be that source of contact for people so that they, you know, they know that they're getting a good referral source on somebody that can do good work for them. More
than just an agent that collects a commission check. And I mean, a lot of my guests, you know, you'll hear from my guests. That's who I like to have on, is it's above and beyond. It's not just about the commission check. It's not just about this. It's also about a relationship that you develop with your clients and the other agents. And then that then grows, because we would need that. You know, you, as a client, you need that.
I would have to say over half of our friends are all past clients. Everybody that we meet, you know, it's such an intimate transaction, you know, when you're working with families, and it's always fun when we can hang on to those and hang out and enjoy. We were out on clients' boats yesterday, and then have clients here for dinners, you know, on Sunday nights. So yeah, I've never sold property in a city. I would just have to think it's completely different here, and it's so awesome when you walk somebody into a house. And I had one guy, he walked in the front door, looked out into the lake and said, "We could live like kings here." And they actually ended up retiring full-time from St. Louis down here.
Oh, nice. Nice. Yeah, because
So-
St. Louis isn't that far from, really.
No,
2.5 hours. So
yeah.
yeah, we hold on to our relationships with our clients.
And that's when we do a quality job. And then that they refer and they refer and they refer, and it keeps going and going and going and going. You know, it's like I said before, it's not just about the commission check. It's about the relationship and the impact that we make on their lives.
Commission checks a byproduct.
It kind of is. I mean, some people, what's your commission on this? What does it matter? I'm getting this family from A to B.
Yeah.
Yes, I need a paycheck. Yes, I need to get paid. Obviously, we all do, because we want to keep the lights on and everything going. But when we have that passion and that drive, you know, again, it translates. And, you know, that you can tell by talking with you. You know, I would trust, okay, pick up the phone and call and say, "Hey, this is what I'm looking for. Find something for me." Or I have a client, a really close friend. This is what I need. I would have zero problem with handing them over and saying, "Okay, let me know if you have any questions."
Yeah.
And that's how it should be. You should have that level of comfort and trust. And because you have that knowledge, you've brought up points. I mean, as many times as I've been boating and owned a boat, you've brought up points that I didn't even think of, you know, because I don't live there.
Yeah. Hopefully that's what we will do.
And
Hopefully we'll be asking the right questions and bringing up the points that the buyer or the seller has not thought about, so that, yeah, again, we're
It's
there
just so much
to
of it
protect
is our
them.
own personal experience.
Yeah.
We have bought and sold, I think, like 6 houses in the past year. So we
Wow.
personally go through the same process and know the emotional roller coaster. And that's what I always want to let people know, what the next steps are, and try to answer those questions that they don't even know that they are going to have.
Yeah, and especially with the construction background, I know it helps me quite a bit as well. You can foresee things that others might not, because of that past experience and that given background. You know, it helps. It helps with the whole entire package.
Mhm.
You know, so, and I think too, you would set a tone of reality. You know, we Halloween dreams. Oh my gosh, I want to own this. I want to do that. I want to. Here's the reality. You can own this, but no, Jen, you can't build this over here. All right. Thank you so much. You can over here. So here we go. Stick around. We're going to close up real quick. And then I do want to get another thing on the books with you guys as well, so we can talk a little further. You know, this is Ozarks edition. We concentrated on the Ozarks. Obviously, Lakefront Living Realty, you have other locations as we had touched on as well. But stick around, and after we close, and I will let's figure out what we can do in the future. This is Jennifer Williams, podcast host of LUXE Life, global banker, global luxury real estate agent in the beautiful city of Chicago. And thank you everybody for tuning in. Have a great day.